Hey guys, this is Sharon, your English language tutor from IELTS Group. We are here with another sentence structure that you can use in your day-to-day writing, speaking, etc. So the topic we will be discussing about today is going to be semicolon. Many of you might have already seen semicolon while you were reading some kind of academic writing or going through an academic textbook or poems, for example, and wondered why use a semicolon? What is the purpose of a semicolon? Why not use a comma instead of a semicolon, or why not use a full stop, a period instead of a semicolon? What is the purpose of semicolon? What is its exact use? I have wondered, like many people, just like you, I have wondered what a semicolon is. So in this video, I'll be talking about what a semicolon is, how do you use it, where do you use it, and how to understand it. So first, let's take a look at the definition. What is the definition of a semicolon? A semicolon is another punctuation mark, which actually is a combination between a period and a comma. So period or full stop and a comma. So a semicolon is a punctuation mark that is actually a combination of a comma and a period. We'll take a look at it from this example. I don't care if he comes over semicolon. This is a semicolon. The period and the comma. I won't be moved. So that is how you use a semicolon in a sentence. And like I said earlier, it is used in poems, speeches and academic writing mostly. Many of you, including myself, will not come face to face with a semicolon in most of the time. But then, when you are faced with a semicolon, knowing how to use them will be helpful to you. And understanding them will help you read and better understand a conversation. And you can use it for your writing if you know about them. It is nothing major, it's just a simple thing. So, where do you use the semicolons? In two places. One is to separate two complete sentences and to separate items in a list. But then you will have the question, separate two complete sentences, you can just use a period, right? And to separate items in a list, you can just use a comma, right? From these two examples, you can see the same things. It's just common. Separate two sentences, you can use periods. Then why use a semicolon? And to separate items in a list, you can use comma. Why use a semicolon? So I will be explaining to you how and where to use them and why to use them through these examples. So the first example, I will be talking about the separating two complete sentences. Alright. I have never been so insulted, semicolon. He said my accent was awful. So as you can see from this, the first part before the semicolon and the second part after the semicolon, both are complete sentences. So we can just use a period here, right? I have never been so insulted, full stop. He said my accent was awful, full stop. Since it's two complete sentences, you can use a full stop. If you use a comma, then that becomes a run-on, which I have talked about in my previous videos. So the thing is, you use semicolon to show that this person or the one who is talking, who is saying this thing, is at the end of a thought. But then there is a second part to it. As you can see from this example, I have never been so insulted. Just take it from me. I have never been so insulted. But that I am at the end of my talk. But then there is another part to it, or a reason to it. Because he said my accent was awful. So instead of using because, we can just use a semicolon to show that we are at the end of a thought, but then there is another part to this entire sentence. If we are using a period, then it will be I have never been so insulted, a short sentence, and then he said my accent was awful. Yet another short sentence. So instead of even using a period, you can use because to connect these two sentences. That is the use of connectors, which I will be talking about in another video. So this is, I have never been so insulted, semicolon, he said my accent was awful. So that shows that this is a complete sentence. We are at the end of a thought at this place, at this point of the sentence, and then you are completing it. So there is another part to it. So that's how you use a semicolon while to separate two complete sentences. But if this was an entirely different thing or an entirely different matter, I've never been so insulted, full stop, then the person is talking about something else entirely. I wanted to buy that camera, but that those two sentences are not related. Therefore, you can use a period there and not a semicolon. Since these two, he is saying I have never been so insulted, and he is also giving the reason why he is not never been so insulted. So that is a complete sentence, and you can use a semicolon there. Now, the second case, to separate items in a list. So, to separate items in a list, for example, in a grocery list, vegetables, fruits, diary. So, you just separate it with commas, right? So, why use a semicolon? Take a look at this example. Jerry, comma, the guy with the beard, comma, Serenity, comma, the woman with the crazy hair, comma, and Alex, comma, the man with the big glasses, comma, met in college. So, from this sentence, can you guess how many people this sentence is talking about? So, we are talking about Jerry, who is the guy with the beard, Serenity, the woman with the crazy hair, and then Alex, the man with the big glasses. So, three people, right? So, we are talking about three, Jerry, Serenity, and Alex. But then, since this is common, we are talking about commas and semicolons. Take a look at this. Jerry, comma, the first person. The guy with the beard, that could be another person whose name is not known to the person who is saying the sentence. Now then, Serenity, the third person. Then the woman with the crazy hair could be a fourth person. And then Alex, the fifth person. And then the man with the big glasses, 6. So this sentence could also be talking about 6 different people. 3 people whose name is known to the person who is writing the sentence or saying the sentence, and 3 people whose name is not known, but then their characteristics are known. So, in order to avoid this confusion and to show that we are only talking about 3 people and their characteristics, we use semicolon. So, Jerry, comma, the guy with the beard, semicolon. So that means we are talking about one person. So we are also giving the characteristic of Jerry, which is he is the person with the beard. Serenity, comma, the woman with the crazy hair. Then semicolon to show that we are talking about Serenity and also giving her characteristic. That is crazy hair. And Alex, the man with the big glasses. Semicolon again to show that we are talking about 3 different people here and not 6. So instead of semicolon, if you were using a comma, then that would mean that this sentence we are talking about 6 different people, right? So that is how you use a semicolon to separate items in a list. So I hope you guys understood this lesson, and this is a very important lesson. Semicolon is important, but many of you don't know what a semicolon is or how to use them and how to read a sentence when you see a semicolon. So this is how you use them to separate 2 complete sentences and to separate items in a list, but also when you are saying the characters, right? So guys, I hope this is very useful to you. Use it in your daily writing or anything and practice it to get you more comfortable with it. That's all for this video, guys. Do not forget to like and subscribe our channel. Until next time, thank you.